Okay, welcome everyone. Thank you for taking time out of your day today to join us. You're attending the Managing the Technician Truck Stock, Parts, Inventory, and Knowledge to Increase Your First Call Completes, presented by Jim Rushton. Jim, it's all yours.
Well, thank you very much, Sarah. Good afternoon. I'm Jim Rushton with My Software. And, starting out as a service provider, you already know that having the right parts on hand for a service call is critical to improving first call completes. Repeat visits, of course, decrease technician productivity, which impacts customer satisfaction. Encompass feels that EZ Stock is one of the tools that can be provided to service companies to address those issues. And I'm going to go through that this afternoon. So to begin with, from an introductory standpoint, EZ Stock is a new powerful mobile and web app from Encompass, a leading supplier of replacement parts for a diverse range of product brands. Developed with my company, My Software, the app is designed to help field service technicians to manage all aspects of their truck stock parts inventory or inventory kept in the shop. In its simplest form, EZ Stock, if you will, is a standalone software solution for service companies that typically do not use a business management software that has location-specific parts inventory management. What I'm going to do is review, if you have an interest in this, how you get started to take a look at it. Then actually do a demonstration of the application. And if you will, please note any questions that you have so that at the end of the presentation this afternoon, you'll be able to answer questions at that point. So EZ Stock is both a mobile app with a web portal. And I'm going to show you both pieces of the application. But if you look to your right, you'll notice, and you'll see this during the demonstration, a couple of screenshots of what you see on the mobile portion of the application. Again, I'll demo this in detail, but you would use this particularly for the technician to manage and bin locate parts within their service vehicle. So for incoming parts, whether they're will call parts at a particular location, or there's something that the technician would order or you provided the technician, they can quickly use the app to scan parts directly into their truck stock inventory. So they scan the QR code or the barcode, or they could frankly enter the part number as well. If there are pickup orders or orders that are shipped in that go directly to the particular technician, those full orders can be scanned directly into specific bin locations within the truck, so you don't have to actually scan every individual part numbers. Again, particularly with Encompass, where there's a barcode on the packing list, which represents all of the items in the shipment. For the technician, if you have multiple technicians using the application, not only can they search for availability parts in their vehicle using the web portal, you can also view their inventory, but they can view the inventory on other service vehicles. You can also use the app if you have a small backroom inventory that you have on premise. So that would just simply be another inventory location. If they need a part, for example, that they don't have in their vehicle, they can request a transfer from another vehicle or, again, an on-premise location where that request would go through an approval process and then a physical transfer of the part would take place. And since this is an Encompass app, the user can instantly connect to Encompass to do parts research, looking up a model bomb, for example, or bill of materials, exploded view diagrams, schematics, as well as ordering and returning parts. One of the other features of the app, since it takes advantage, or I should say tracks inventory usage in that particular vehicle, there's also indications, and you'll see when I do the demo, of when parts are actually low in inventory based on minimum and maximum stocking quantities that are established within the app. The app also gives you the ability to track the shipment of part orders and approve returns. We've noted here web only, simply because you do that through the web portal. One of the other attributes of the application is if you have proprietary tools or equipment on a service vehicle, as long as you assign some part number or description for that, you can track those assets at the same time. The web portal is for user administration. For example, let's assume I have a company, I'm the owner, and I have 2 technicians. What that does is allows me to manage the inventory in those 2 technicians' vehicles. It allows me to manage my EZ Stock account. I have the ability using Excel or CVS files to import inventory. So if I have a bulk restocking order, for example, I can import the inventory and assign it to those particular locations or service vehicles. I can search for parts at any location by simply keying in a part number or description. I can manage any part transfers that I need to make between locations. I can manage all of the orders I've placed within Compass, as well as managing all of the part returns. So some of the benefits of EZ Stock, this was launched a couple of months ago. We did a pilot with a half a dozen service companies throughout the country. And from that pilot, what we've recognized, and this was expressed directly from those companies, is that they see 3 key benefits that they're gaining by using this app. One is really assisted the technicians in increasing first call completes, because once they've built up some history of the parts usage, they've automatically identified those parts that they haven't been using, that just been collecting dust, for example, and also to replenish the inventory on those higher or faster moving parts that they've been using. So secondly, and this is also very important, this app is used to facilitate the organization of the truck stock, because you can assign bin locations to particular parts. Now, let me put that in a different light. Let's say, for example, the service vehicle isn't completely racked out. One of the pilot companies that I personally work very closely with, they had large tubs or bins within a service vehicle that were for refrigeration parts for select brands, or for laundry products for specific brands. So again, at least it gets a technician moving in the right direction in terms of being able to readily locate the parts that were within that vehicle. The other thing they've realized is a reduced truck stock inventory carrying costs. Very important, because again, they're not carrying a lot of parts that they don't have any usage for. So getting started is pretty quickly, and Compass offers a 30-day free trial. So anybody can go to the web portal. In step number 1 here, as you can see, they come to a landing page where they can start a free trial. Essentially, it's pretty easy. What you're doing is you're putting in your company name, your name, and you're selecting your user ID and password, whatever you want that to be. Once you've submitted that, then within minutes, you receive an email, and that email then allows you to basically select an activation link. So you've activated an account, and then you would simply go in and set the details for your company account. So you create your part stocking locations, again, be it service vehicles and or an on-premise location, and you get those set up. And then from that point, you download the mobile app. That's available both in the Apple App Store and also Google Play, and it's called EZ Stock from Encompass. In step 2, once you've set up your company account with those credentials, then you could use the mobile app. And what we've seen here over the last weeks is that some users, rather than going to the web portal first and getting their account activated for their company, they're going out to the the App Store or Google Play, and they're downloading the mobile app first, and then they're trying to use the credentials that have been assigned to them to log into the Encompass Parts website, and they're not getting any action. So we've been actively taking them through that education process, if you will, to make sure they initially set up their company account. So that's 3 easy steps to get moving in a positive direction. So once you've established your account and you've downloaded the mobile app, you'll want to, time permitting, load up your starting inventory. Now, we've also found some companies that have been very, very busy that elected not to take this step. And what they're doing is, as they're getting parts in from the time they've set up their account, they're beginning to scan those into the truck stock inventory. Again, they just haven't taken the time to physically count the part inventory and scan all of the inventory, into that truck to begin with. But ideally, you would take option 1 or 2. You would use the mobile app to scan the barcode of the parts and or manually enter the part numbers for your startup inventory. There's also a second option using the web portal. And there you have the ability to import a file. So let's say, for example, you had the technician use a check sheet and just simply list the part number, or what we call an item code, and the available quantity that they have on the truck, and whatever location they want to name it, whether it's a bin or a tub or whatever. And then you can upload that file directly in using the web portal. So again, you're provided with 2 options, whatever is the most frictionless approach that you'd want to take to get going. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and launch the app from my mobile device. Bear with me just a moment.
Hey, Jim, while you're doing that, I'll ask you a quick question.
Certainly.
Okay. Does the app have an API access? And is this only compatible with Encompass as a restocking vendor?
At the present time, it's only available for Encompass account holders.
Okay.
And there is no API.
Okay. Perfect. And we tested this like not even 20 minutes ago. There we go.
Perfect. Okay, so what I've done is I've downloaded the app from the App Store. I just happen to be using an Apple device. I launched it from my main screen. And as you can see here, we have different selections that you can make. So for example, I'm going to go ahead and play the role as a technician. And let me just walk through this, and then we'll go through each one of these. I have viewing the inventory that I have in my vehicle. I can do an inventory search of my vehicle. So let's say I just happen to do service in an inner city area and I'm on the 14th floor of a building. God only knows where I'm parked, but in any event, I'm servicing a refrigerator and I need a part, I can quickly check the availability of that part if I'm unsure of the fact that I have it or don't have it directly while I'm in the customer's home before I make a trip down to the vehicle. In the event I do not have it, I could search other inventory locations, or what we say is the fleet. So if there's another technician, in my company that's using the app, I can search for what's on his vehicle and perhaps request a transfer. I can search Encompass's inventory if another vehicle doesn't have it or I don't have it. We also have the ability to do parts check-in and parts check-out, which I'll show you. The transfer requests, if I'm requesting a transfer from another vehicle, if I receive an order, checking in a full order, and also at any given point in time, view what I have on my cart so that I can place a reorder. So I'm going to start out by viewing my inventory. Going up to the top, what this reflects is I have 264 unique part numbers. I know that's a lot, and it's probably not average, obviously, but I have 264 unique part numbers in my vehicle for a cost value of some $13,000. In the web portal, as the administrator, you have the ability to set this at cost or retail. So I just happen to have it set at cost. And what this also reflects is that I have 39 parts that require replenishment. In other words, based on the minimum stocking quantity I have set up for that part, hopefully based on historical usage at some point, this suggests that I have to place a reorder or get somebody to reorder for me. Each one of these parts where you have the red block, as you can see here, defines exactly how many of each one of these I have a low inventory of, again, based on minimum and maximum stocking quantities. So I can just thumb through here. You'll notice that some items do not have a picture. What the system does, since it's connected real-time directly to the Encompass parts distribution system, is it'll grab a photograph of that particular part that Encompass has in inventory. If it is a non-Encompass part and you have not taken a picture of it when you checked it in, you will not have a photograph of it. I'm going to take you through that process in a moment. But again, that's my main landing page. If I select what the low portion, it'll take me straight through here. And at any given point in time, I can look at information on the part for further information, or I can select all of these parts. If I select them all, it'll give me the ability to review all of the parts. Let me move this out of the way. You'll notice that I've selected 39 parts, which I'm low on, and I added them to the cart, and it gives me the total dollar amount of what I've added to the cart. I can also go in and just simply deselect them all, or I can select them individually and place a reorder. That reorder would reach out into the Encompass system and place an order directly with Encompass. So let's say I'm in the customer's home and I need to check on a part in my vehicle. I have the ability to enter a part number or a description. So let's say I'm not certain about the description. I know I've got some ice makers on my vehicle, so I'm just going to simply put ice maker in. And this reflects that I have one ice maker, which just happens to be a GE ice maker. In my stock, I'm going to go ahead and use that on a repair I'm doing. So I've got a number of reasons here. These reasons were provided to us in terms of checking out parts by the initial group of service companies that we worked with on the pilot of this program. And that is used in repair, returned to distributor, scrapped, sold to customer, transferred to another company location or service vehicle, et cetera, et cetera. So in this case, I'm going to say I'm going to use this in a repair. There's a comment section here. I can go in here and put in the work order number. So you have the ability to see all of this activity in the web portal. So I'm going to check that out. Quantity of 1. And so that just checked that part out of my inventory and for use in a repair. So let's say I didn't have that in stock. I hadn't checked the location to see if another truck in my company has that part or any on-premise stocking location. So again, the same thing here. I can do a quick search. And this reflects that there is another one, and I can request a transfer at this point. Again, considering the other technician is in fairly close proximity, or we work, not a great distance apart. Say, for example, I didn't have that in stock. I could actually go ahead and check the Encompass inventory. I have a part number keyed in here, so I'll just go ahead and use this one. So here's the part I selected. I'm using a different part number. And as I scroll through here, I can see all of the information on this particular ice maker kit, what the cost is, and also where the locations are from a stocking standpoint. I'm going to go ahead and add this to one of these to my cart. I can adjust the quantity here if need be. And I can go ahead and view my cart. I already had one item in my cart. Let's say if I didn't want that, I can just quickly swipe it and delete it. And then just go ahead and add this particular part for a reorder. Check out. If I wanted to look at the details of the order I just placed, I'd select details. And this basically provides me with a PDF copy of the order that I can save, or if I also have the option to print it if I have such a facility to print it. Parts check-in. When I receive a part, I can scan the barcode. So I'm going to go ahead and launch the scanner. So I just scan that particular part. If the part does not exist, in other words, it's not an Encompass inventory part, I can go ahead and add it by simply saying yes. And so what I would do at that point is I would add a description. And I'm going to put this in a bin location. And I'm going to add an attachment. So I'm going to launch my camera. And I'm going to go ahead and save that. I'm checking it in. It's in bin 2. And again, I have a comment section here if I want to include, the supplier I purchased this from. So let's just say I get this particular part at Home Depot. I get it out of their plumbing supply area. So I go ahead and check that in and the quantity. So that's a parts check-in. Again, parts check-out. I could do the same thing. Enter the part number. Or scan the part number. It already recognized that I have that. Obviously, I just scanned it in. I'm going to go ahead and use that in a repair. Put my work order number in and check it out. So thus far we've gone from viewing the parts inventory, searching the truck inventory, searching within a fleet. We linked to Encompass. We placed an order. We've checked in a part. We've checked out a part. Transfer request. If I had any outstanding transfer requests, which I do not in this demo, they would be listed here. I can also check in a complete order. I can either scan the barcode off the packing list and then select check-in, or enter the invoice number. And what that does, again, if there's 10 parts or 5 parts in the order, it checks in the entire order one fell swoop. This one just had 1 part on the order. And so I just checked that part in. And again, at any given time, I move items into the cart. For example, if I go back here and say, all right, I'm low on this one. I want to add that to the cart. I got to replenish at a quantity of 1. It then places it in the cart so that I can place a reorder. So real simple app for a technician to use. So I'm going to minimize this for a moment. So now you're viewing the web portal. So this is, as the company owner or administrator, this is where you would spend your time. I'm not sure, unless you're a sole proprietor, where you'd actually be managing your account and all of the other activity. Would there be a need for just a technician to go in and use the web portal? But again, certainly your option. The web portal allows you to do a number of things. You can go in and you can search for parts. You can add parts, new items. You can look at all of your order activity as well as all of your returns activity. Again, this is specifically with Encompass. This is an Encompass app. So when I go to the parts section here, I have the ability to add new inventory or a new part number. I can search. I can search all inventory. So a number of things I can do here. Since I have a 360-degree view of all of the locations, I could go in and basically put in a description or a part number in the search bar. And this brings back everything associated with a filter, for example, and where the part is located. I'm going to go ahead and pull up a part. So what you can see here is, what the item type is, the part number, the description, how many we have available. This just happens to be, instead of Jim's truck, I got the location name set up as Encompass Service. This is when I started stocking the item in the truck. So for this account I'm using right now, this is when I loaded this part number into the application. This is an automatic default, but if you wanted to set an end date for an item so that you don't continue to stock it, you can do that. The default is just automatic to a date in the future. I also have the ability to, for my bin location, and then establishing the minimum and maximum stocking quantities. I can add any notes. For example, the one I showed you when I checked a part in the mobile device, that my source for that part happened to be Home Depot in their plumbing supply area. I can add attachments. So if you wanted to add, let's say a purchase order record or a photograph, anything you want, that's relative to that particular part number, you have the ability to do that. If I wanted to search within the fleet, again, I could do it by keyword, part number, or if I simply go in here and select go, I bring up all of the inventory I've got in each of the locations. So again, adding new inventory, searching inventory, looking at a specific technician's inventory, searching all of the locations, or what we call within the fleet, adding a new type of transaction. So if I want to do a transfer, for example, I can go in here and set up a particular transfer. So I'm transferring a specific part number, quantity from one location to another. I can also search for all of my order activity. You'll notice that there's a number of filters down here. I can also select filters if I'm searching for specific information. So, who created the order, for example. So I can move these filters back and forth. That way I can narrow in on something, especially if I've got a lot of activity. Or again, I can just go in here and hit go, and I can bring up all of my order activity right here. If you'll notice, this particular order, 423, as the technician, I placed an order for that ice maker. And this gives me the information on that, the ice maker assembly, and all of the other information pertinent to that in terms of my cost, shipping information, so that I can track when this order has been shipped as well. When the order's been shipped, there's a tracking number that's posted back to this record. And again, I can search anything that's in transit to me. I don't happen to have anything in transit at the moment. But again, this is the administrator view, something that the technician probably isn't going to get engaged in. The same functionality exists for returns. I don't have any returns in this particular demonstration. So now we'll open it up for questions.
Okay, we have quite a few. If you place an order for a part, will it tell you if there's inventory at Encompass automatically? and the warehouse it is located in, can the tech check the inventory?
Yes, the tech can see see where they have that particular item and how many they have in each location.
Okay. If they download the app first from the App Store, will it message the customer to open an account with Encompass?
No.
Okay. So, but they'll be prompted to enter their account information?
Well, if you go and download, let me just back up here just a moment. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead right here. So what you have to do first is you have to go to the web portal and sign up for the app. From that point, then you're actually establishing your company account. Okay, so what's going to happen is when you go here and select free trial, you're going to put in your company name, your contact name, what credentials you want to use, a user ID and password. You're going to hit submit. And within a couple of minutes, you're going to get an email. It's going to be an activation email message. You're going to activate your account. Then you're going to go in and add any additional, a little bit more of additional information. Then you'll be able to download the app. And at that point, you can then use these credentials that you input to begin to use the mobile app, right? Because part of this account setup is you're going to actually put in your confidential Encompass Parts user ID and password.
Okay, perfect. So does the tech always have to place reorders for their truck stock, or will the system reorder automatically?
The system will not reorder automatically. You have to actually place the reorder. You can either have that done by the technician, or whoever you're in your office may be you assign as the administrator.
Okay.
Because in some instances you may not want the tech to do the reorder.
Okay. And so if you order from another distributor as well as Encompass, you can put the parts in here?
Yes.
Okay.
You can add any part number, and as you saw, you can take a picture of that part number as well. And then in the comments field of that part record, you can put in your, the supply source for that, like I did with the Home Depot on the washers that I checked in using the mobile device.
Okay, perfect. Can the check-in, transfer, and reorder happen on a web version by the office staff versus an app?
Yes.
Okay.
Using the web portal.
Okay. Do you know the cost of this app? What it is every month?
Yeah. It is $9.95 per user per month after the 30-day free trial. So you get to try it out for 30 days. And so for $9.95 a month or $99.95 a year, either way you want to do it. And if you, that is the user, has an Encompass account and purchases $1,000 of parts during that month, Encompass will credit your fee back for using the app.
Okay. Do you have to use this app with, well, yes, you have to use it with Encompass because you wouldn't download it for inventory controls with other vendors. You'd have to have an Encompass account, and then you can use other vendors as well, correct?
Yes.
Okay. This is from John. I had a company ask me this question yesterday. I'm trying to set up a field service software where I can upload a spreadsheet for parts inventory. Is this possible on this app?
Let me make sure. Let me make sure I understand that.
I'm just reading it, so
yeah. If you go in using the web portal, and I'm going to go ahead and bring that back up, and we go into new inventory, and we go ahead and add part numbers, right? We can always, once we've got the inventory in, now let me also, once we've got the inventory in, you can also, as I had mentioned, we can go here. I didn't do this firstly. I'm sorry. Now, by the way, the app has an onboard user guide and a video with all of the information I've gone through. It also shows you how to import a file of startup inventory. So you can create a file, in Excel and upload it. But once you've got the inventory in here, you can also export it in Excel. All right. So yep. I hope that answers that question.
I think that's what he was asking.
Okay.
Can you use only the web portal and not have techs use it on their phones?
Yes.
Okay. And is that still the $9.99?
Yes.
Okay. Perfect. How does Encompass utilize the company's truck inventory?
How did they utilize the truck inventory? You mean from what? I mean, what's in stock?
That's what all the questions.
Okay. They use it to build demand so that they place reorders on their suppliers and have the right parts at the right time when service customers need them.
Perfect. If we add an item, where is the pricing coming from? Is it automatically from Encompass, or do we have to manually enter pricing?
If you have an Encompass account, when you place an order, it's going against the terms and conditions for your pricing from Encompass. Okay. So that's what's reflected back is whatever pricing arrangement you have with Encompass. So you do not have to enter that price. If you purchase a part from another source, then you will have to enter the cost and the retail price.
Perfect. If anyone else has any questions, just submit them real quick in the chat. Anything else, Jim?
No, I'd like to thank you for your time. Again, let me go back to the screen in terms of getting started. If you haven't already, I want to make sure that you have this URL so that you can go to the website. There's additional information on the website. So when you scroll down, you can look at all of the information so that you can make an educated decision on whether or not you'd like to try it. Trying the app, for the 30 days, entirely up to you. I would encourage you that if you have the ability to start by either uploading or scanning in the parts inventory at a single location, for example, that would be ideal, because then you start to build usage history, and you'll maximize the gain from the time you put into it. Because that's all key is, getting the right parts that you need, not having obsolete or excess inventory on the vehicle. So that's what I encourage you to do that. Yes.
Okay. I have another question.
Certainly.
When does the 30-day trial start? Is it when they activate it or when they sync it with the app?
When you go in and activate the account.
Okay. Perfect.
Not download. Anybody can download, from the Apple Store. It's when you actually go into the web portal and you activate your account. And again, what's going to happen is when you hit sign up, you're going to key in 5 pieces of information. You're going to submit that information, and then you will get an activation email. It's at that activation link that then the trial starts.
Perfect. And we have a question if you'll be able to do this webinar again in the future.
Most definitely.
Okay.
I'll welcome it, in fact.
Perfect. And we also record them, so they're available on our website as well, under training and recorded webinars. So thank you, everyone, for joining us. Thank you, Jim, for your time today and for presenting. We appreciate it. And thank you to Encompass. We look forward to seeing you all again soon. Have a great day.